The Weight of Yesterday, How to Forgive Your Younger Self. An opening note of reflection today. Before we begin, I invite you to take a moment. Find a quiet space, or simply close your eyes for a moment. Now gently ask yourself, is there one thing in my life that even today still makes me whisper, if only I had? If you feel that tug, don't rush to push it away. Let it be there. Sit with it for a while. Because today, we're not going to try to forget. We're going to learn to see the past with new eyes. Not to blame ourselves, but to start forgiving and to step forward again. I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor and fellow retiree. And today, I want to talk about something that often whispers quietly in our minds, early in the morning when we wake, or late at night when the world falls silent. It's not about money, it's not about health, it's about guilt and regret from the past. The awakening moment. Welcome. As we step into this new chapter of life called retirement, many of us find ourselves facing unexpected emotions. Among the most common, and often the most painful, are feelings of guilt and regret. Maybe it's a decision you made years ago, a harsh word spoken in haste, or time you wished you had spent differently with family, friends, or yourself. Today, we're going to explore these feelings not to drown in them, but to understand and heal. Together, we'll uncover insights from leading experts like Dr. Robert Waldinger, director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development, and Dr. Lavra Karstensen, pioneer of socio-emotional selectivity theory. More importantly, we'll learn practical, compassionate strategies to help you forgive yourself, find peace, and embrace this stage of life with hope and purpose. By the end of our time together, you'll have tools to transform regret into growth and guilt into grace. Let's begin this journey of healing, because your story is far from over. The awakening of curiosity research into aging and emotional well-being reveals a powerful truth. Our later years can be some of the richest and most emotionally fulfilling of our lives. Dr. Robert Waldinger, who leads the legendary Harvard Study of Adult Development, reminds us that happiness and inner peace don't come from a perfect life. Instead, they come from how we relate to our imperfections. He says, well-being doesn't come from a flawless past, but from the capacity to accept and make peace with our imperfections. Similarly, Dr. Lavra Karstensen's socio-emotional selectivity theory teaches us that as we age, our emotional processing shifts. We become more focused on meaningful relationships and positive experiences, letting go of trivial worries. But here's the catch. While our brains become better at managing emotions, we often forget to apply this kindness inwardly. Guilt and regret are natural responses when we reflect on past mistakes, but they don't have to define us. Dr. Becca Levy's research on aging and mindset shows that how we perceive ourselves in later life profoundly affects our health and longevity. Holding on to negative feelings about the past can literally age us faster. Conversely, adopting a forgiving, growth-oriented mindset can improve both mental and physical health. So the science is clear. Healing from guilt and regret is not just emotional, it's biological. It's a gift we give ourselves for a healthier, more joyful retirement. Insight 1. Practice self-forgiveness. One of the most powerful steps we can take toward healing is learning to forgive ourselves. Dr. Lavra Karstensen explains that with age, we gain a remarkable ability to process emotions more healthily. But often, we reserve this grace for others, not ourselves. Here's a practical exercise to begin. Take a piece of paper and write down one regret or guilt you carry. It might be a decision you wish you'd made differently, or a moment you wish you could change. Beneath it, list 3 lessons you've learned from that experience. What did it teach you about yourself, your values, or life? Finally, read aloud this gentle affirmation. I have learned. I am human. I am growing, even as my hair turns gray. This simple practice helps shift regret from a chain that binds us into a teacher that guides us. Self-forgiveness is not about denying mistakes or ignoring consequences. It's about acknowledging our humanity and allowing ourselves to grow beyond past errors. As Dr. Nancy Schlossberg, a leading expert on life transitions, says, "The stories we tell ourselves about our past shape our present and future. By rewriting those stories with compassion, we take the first step to peace." Insight 2. Open dialogue with the past. Healing often comes through connection, both with others and with ourselves. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg highlights the importance of narrative identity, the way we tell the story of our lives. How we frame our past shapes how we live today. Sometimes that means opening a dialogue with the past. If possible, reach out to someone you feel you may have hurt or who may have hurt you. This doesn't have to be a confrontation. It can be a conversation rooted in healing. If meeting isn't possible, write a letter. You don't have to send it. Just write honestly about your feelings, your regrets, your hopes for growth, your desire for peace. This active expression can be deeply freeing. Acknowledging mistakes doesn't mean weakness. It means your heart is alive and open. Dr. Richard Leider, a pioneer in life purpose, reminds us that owning our stories can be the bravest thing we do. By facing the past with honesty and courage, we reclaim our narrative and begin to heal old wounds. Insight 3. Practice acts of kindness today. Another way to move beyond regret is to live purposefully in the present. Dr. Richard Leider calls this living purposefully, using our past experiences, both good and bad, as fuel for positive action now. Ask yourself, what is one kind thing I can do this week for someone else? Not to erase the past, but to balance it with love. It could be as simple as calling a family member and saying, "I'm proud of you." Or sending a message to an old friend, "I'm sorry I wasn't there as much as I wished." Small acts of kindness create new stories, stories of connection, growth, and forgiveness. Science shows that kindness not only benefits others, but also boosts our own emotional well-being. Dr. Mo Wang's research on positive psychology and aging finds that purposeful acts increase life satisfaction and reduce feelings of loneliness. When we choose kindness, we are not rewriting the past. We are enriching the present and shaping a hopeful future. Insight 4. Mindfulness and acceptance. Mindfulness is another powerful tool to face guilt and regret with compassion. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg emphasizes acceptance as a key part of navigating life transitions. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When regret arises, instead of pushing it away or drowning in it, gently acknowledge it. "I see you, old friend." This practice creates space between you and your emotions, reducing their power to overwhelm. Research supports that mindfulness reduces stress and improves emotional regulation in older adults. Try this simple exercise. Sit quietly, take a deep breath. When a regretful thought appears, label it gently, "regret." Then return your focus to your breath. With practice, you'll find the past becomes less of a burden and more of a story you can hold with kindness. As Dr. Robert Waldinger reminds us, peace comes not from a perfect life, but from embracing life as it is. Insight 5. Create new meaning and legacy. Finally, channel your experiences into creating new meaning. Dr. Richard Leider talks about legacy work, the process of reflecting on what we want to leave behind. This can be a source of profound healing. Ask yourself, what wisdom have I gained from my regrets? How can I share that with others? Maybe it's writing a letter to younger family members, sharing lessons learned, or volunteering your time to support others facing similar struggles. Dr. Becca Levy's work shows that having a strong sense of purpose enhances longevity and health. By transforming regret into legacy, you create a life story that honors your journey, not just the mistakes, but the growth. You become the author of your own meaningful chapter. The final light. Let's delve deeper into the science of emotional aging. Dr. Lovra Carstensen's socio-emotional selectivity theory explains that as we age, we prioritize emotionally meaningful goals and relationships. This shift is adaptive. It helps us focus on what truly matters. However, unresolved regret can block this natural progression. Dr. Becca Levy's research on stereotype embodiment theory reveals that internalized negative beliefs about aging and the self can accelerate decline. But positive self-perceptions and emotional regulation can counteract this. Dr. Mo Wang's studies on resilience in older adults show that those who engage in reflective practices and meaning-making are better equipped to handle emotional challenges. In essence, the brain remains plastic, capable of growth and healing well into later life. This means your emotional well-being is not fixed. It can improve with intention and practice. Healing from regret is not just possible. It's supported by science. From knowing to becoming, as we come to the close of our time together, let's reflect. Guilt and regret are part of our shared human experience. They remind us that we care deeply, that we have lived fully. But they do not have to define us. By practicing self-forgiveness, opening dialogue, acting kindly, embracing mindfulness, and creating new meaning, we can transform these feelings into sources of growth. You are more than your past mistakes. As Dr. Becca Levy reminds us, hope and positive self-perception can influence not just how long we live, but how well we live. Take heart in this truth. Your story is still unfolding. There is room for peace, for joy, and for connection. You are not alone on this journey. Until the next reflection before we part today, I want to leave you with a question. What if the very regrets you carry are the seeds of your greatest growth? What if forgiving yourself is the key not just to peace, but to a richer, more meaningful retirement? I invite you to take one small step today. Maybe it's writing that letter, making that call, or simply saying to yourself, I am worthy of forgiveness. I am worthy of peace. Share your reflections with us in the comments below. Your story might be the light someone else needs. If this video touched your heart or stirred a memory, please like, share, and subscribe. And tap the bell to join us on this journey again. I'm Ordinary People. Remember, you are not alone. We grow together. We heal together. Thank you for being here. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. The best chapters are still ahead.